Well, the day has finally arrived where we're going to check and see if all our hard work has paid off, where we're trying to overwinter some of our tropical bananas. And if you'll recall, about last October, we came in right before some of the hard freezes and we just cut the top off of our tropical banana. And what we're trying to do is preserve the trunk and keep it from freezing. So we wrapped it with some plastic and tried to insulate it. And basically, we just constructed a compost pile right around it using some wooden pallets or crates. And then we just have composted cow manure that's packed in there to try to help insulate it. So, we've gone through the winter. Of course, it was kind of mild, but now we'll take a look and see how that's turned out. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut these wires that's holding it together. And then try to get it cut on this side. And we'll just start pulling away some of this and see what happens. Well, to show you how we insulated it, the first layer was actually just plastic wrapped right around the trunk of the banana. And then with that layer, we put in some blocks of straw. And then, of course, we covered that layer, so we had it insulated very nicely. But I think where we got in trouble is after that early freeze, it actually warmed up again in the fall. And what happened is the top started trying to grow again, and it pushed its way, and you can see it poked a hole right here in the plastic and pushed its way right out of the plastic, leaving that open to collect water. And as a result, we haven't even peeled it off yet, but you can tell that it's very soft and has probably rotted on us. So as we peel it away, we'll see how that's going to turn out, but it doesn't look very promising right now, but we'll know here in a few weeks. But now remember, we did save 2 other banana plants, and let's go take a look at those because one of those turned out a lot better than this particular situation. Well, as you can see, this particular banana plant fared a lot better. It's a lot greener and definitely a lot sturdier. And as a reminder, this is the one that we just dug up out of the ground. We severed almost all of its roots, put it in the tub here, didn't really pot it in any potting soil, and just pretty much carried it up the steps into the attic of our barn and just left it there all winter long. And really didn't even keep the soil as moist as we probably should have. But what's happened over the past few weeks with the temperatures warming up in the attic, it has started to go ahead and send out its new foliage for this year, so that's a good sign. And we did keep the trunk from freezing. Now, what we did when we took it out of the ground, we did cut it off straight across the top about at this level, and these are new shoots that are coming out of the center of the trunk. So when we get ready to plant it in this particular bed that we've made for it, what we'll do is just stick it in again the same depth that it was grown, but we'll go ahead and start trimming some of this dead foliage off with our knife and try to get the dead cleaned up, but we won't top it again. We'll go ahead and let the leaves actually emerge out of the top. Now this particular one is a red-leafed banana. It was very large leaves, somewhat dwarf, and it will set a red fruit, and the particular cultivar is called Morellii. So we'll hopefully pull this one through and get it planted here in the next few weeks. And actually it's just a little bit too early for us because of the risk of cool weather we've still been having. And remember, these are tropical, so we want to make sure it's nice and warm before we get them in the ground. Now here's a couple of them that we didn't really even talk to you about last year because we got them in so late. But this one is called Velutina or Velutina. Again, it's an ornamental one, as you can see by the fruit, and it's also dwarfer. It will only get about 3 or 4 feet, so it's perfect for containers, which we've had them in the greenhouse. And again, we got our flower cluster, a fruit set, and these fingerlings are actually a pinkish red color, so it's more for ornamental purposes. They're very woody and pithy, so they're really not used for edible purposes, just for decoration, and pretty easy to get them to set fruit. And it's a prime example by the one next to it of what happens after they set fruit. Here's one of the stalks. If you look closely, you can see the little pink bananas that it used to have, and this is the same cultivar. Once it sets fruit, like I told you last year, that stalk will die. And this is a clumping type, so it's dead. It won't grow any more stalk or any more fruit for you. What happens then is it sends up a side shoot, which is what's happened here, and this one would then set fruit for this year. Now remember, most bananas need anywhere from 12, 14, 16 months for that stalk to grow before they'll ever set fruit, and that's what we're trying to do with the big ones, is protect them so we can hopefully get fruit this year. So there's a lot of interesting choices out there. You know, last year we also grew the variegated banana here with the maroon leaves, and again we'll be planting them in the bed here when it warms up a little bit more, and we'll keep you posted if we get any more fruit set later on in this season.